Edition of the Wrestling Underground podcast. I'm your host, as always, Chad Porto. Joining me is my glorious co-host, Mark Scream. Mark, we live in a crazy, crazy world, and we got some crazy, crazy wrestling news to go along with the crazy, crazy world. Oh, boy. If you thought Nick Cannon being super racist was new, you ain't heard New Japan yet, because they went and did something crazy. This day's been weird. Like, this whole weekend's been fucking weird. I wake up one morning, I expect some dumbness in the news. So we got a politician saying racist things. We got a shocker, Fox News writer being super fucking racist, writing for the super fucking racist Tucker Carlson. They got a bunch of athletes being super fucking racist. I'm just sitting there going, can I get a fucking review on Ghost of Tsushima, please? And then I wake up Saturday morning, or Sunday morning, it's a day that ended in Y, that's all I remember, and I read, Evil wins IWGP title, and I go, 2020's canceled. We're done. And I'm not even a Naito fan. And I'm just sitting here going, bro, what happened? He had one match as champion. Marcus! Why'd they gotta do Naito dirty like that?
It's hilarious because I'm still in the weight processing it because Dominion is notoriously one of their best shows, and I'm biased as well. I mean, it's one of the reasons why I'm biased because it's usually in around or on my birthday. But it notoriously is one of their best shows, and this one was weird because and I didn't say this on the True Penny show, but in a lot of ways it felt like this was like Dominion ended up being like a double event. But the first part of it, instead of night 1 and night 2, Dominion part 1 was the New Japan Cup. Part 2 was the actual show. Which is a very interesting way to look at it when you look at how everything ultimately played out. And I think to ease some people's minds, it'll probably be better to look at it like that. But it's funny because I was okay. Like, this makes sense from the perspective of, like, you look at that story of Naito and just the whole thing about how he basically turned on everything. Like, he tried being the good guy, turned on everybody, and turned into this figure that ultimately was to spite the fans and ultimately got over with them. And that grueling journey to finally get to the world title, end up getting to the world title, and IC got derailed like hell by COVID. And finally come back, and who takes it all from him? It's stablemate. One of his own. And probably in Evil's mind, he's probably been waiting even longer to get the strap than even Naito had. Because he's been on this thing of, like, Evil and not like Sonata, always close but no cigar type of deal. Like, people always want to get in big money situations and come up short when they get to the counter. And I think that's ultimately what that came down to. He just got tired, man. Like, he just like, I'm not gonna lose. Like, he went full Jericho on him, which is ironic because he got the Jericho treatment. But it's real interesting the triggers that they pulled. You almost forget about not Lij, but Suzuki Gun. They almost got lost in translation over those two parts, if you will, because it was all about Bullet Club and Lij. So
yeah, and Suzuki Gun's kind of taken a hit ever since, like, Lance Archer left and Davey Boy left. So they lost some major players, and I don't think they've replaced them at all. But they did end up getting the tag straps because Zachary Sabre Jr. and your favorite Taichi, he won the belts. And by the by, when you said Dominion landed around your birthday, I had to look at my whiteboard to see, like, wait, I thought Marcus' birthday was in June. If I missed it again, I was going to be so pissed at myself. Then I saw June 11th. I'm like, it's July 14th. Nope. All right, we're good. We're good. So the move, Evil turns on Naito at the end of the New Japan Cup, and all of a sudden, you know, you saw a bunch of the Bullet Club members come out. Granted, it's only the Japanese members because everyone else can't get in the country for obvious reasons. It's the COVID 20. And as they were walking out, I'm like, wait. Is this fucking Bullet Club Black and White? Is this Bullet Club Hollywood? Where's Vincent? Where's Bryan Adams? Oh, it was like every B squad member of Bullet Club. I'm just like, this does not help you out at all. Fucking Tokyo Pimp's out there, and you're just like, wait, what? And now, granted, we know why. You know, like the rest of the Bullet Club couldn't get into the country, so you're kind of stuck with what you're stuck with. But it felt kind of ridiculous. Like if it was just who was it? Jetto?
Yeah, yeah.
If it was just
Jetto.
Jetto came out, okay, you know, he used to manage, Okada. But, like, seeing everyone else, I'm like, hey, look, it's all the dorks who lose.
Yeah, it's first of all, I should have known something. I knew something was off about things that was going specifically in the cup because like Yujiro was getting wins. And I'm like, okay, first off, like in my mind, I'm like, okay, like the first time he did, I'm like, okay, and then he pinned Goto. I'm like, the fuck? I got turned in the cliff because I'm like, okay, they throwing in bones because Peter isn't there, right? Like, I mean, obviously everybody suffers because of that.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, when does Gato get the pin? Specifically when he's on a team, like, Gato's usually the one taking the pins and whatnot. Like, he's an OG in New Japan, but like in these times, he's not necessarily want to be taken seriously just because he's just not that guy. But I'm like, they giving him pins, like what's going on here? And then that was just a piece of the fixes and puzzle that would come later. So it's like, but that was definitely a marker. Like, okay, what the freak is going on here? Like either they getting WWE desperate with this booking or something's being set up.
The whole fist to the kiss, if you will. Oh, that was great. Fucking Naito puts his fist up, and Evil looks to respond. Then he goes right to the wolf, and he pecks him, and Naito's like, the fuck? And Naito's like, bitch, you ain't seen nothing yet. Not Naito, Evil. He's like, bitch, you ain't seen nothing yet. And then he fucking drops Naito, and I'm just sitting here going, huh? All right. This is new, and everyone's freaking out. I'm like, guys, it's in his name. He's evil.
Look, man. Between the two of them, I was like, it's going to either be between him or Sonata.
Yeah.
Like they was just on. To me, that's how I was going because they got so successful as a tag team, and obviously they did their run there, and then that ended. But those guys have been stagnant. Like for the longest. Sonata's been next up the bat, and then he's gotten there, and he's, not been able to get it home, and then Evil a lot of ways in the same way. So to me, it was either or, and I think in a lot of ways, as awkward as it is that it's Evil, like you said, it plays a key factor because I think he like was in a dojo or something to that effect with Naito. And again, like you said, he playing that. It's in his name. And people so used to people being like, "Oh, the dreaded killer," and everybody liking them that when they actually kill, everybody's like, "What? Killer Cross kill?" What? So,
So your name is Assassinate Everyone? That's so cool. Then he assassinates everyone. Why would you do that? It's in my name. It's like, well, when you find out someone's name is Motherfucker, and you're like, how'd you get that name? Do you really want to know? Did you see Horrible Bosses?
Yeah.
I'm just going to leave it at that. So, Evil's now the new quote-unquote leader of the Bullet Club. I'm going to say this, and I do not care if anyone has a problem with it. I think Evil is a better leader than Jay White ever could be. Fuck. Evil's a step up, in my opinion.
I love how Jay White is your Tachi. Oh, the nerves.
At least my Taichi sucks at everything. Taichi at least has a cool gimmick with the face mask and the coat and the music. Like that's all solid stuff. I mean, his
No,
wrestling is shit. Mark's like, no,
no,
you're wrong.
no, you're wrong. This is what I got to put my foot down and veto on something you said. In the first time in the history of our show, you know what's good about Tai Chi? Zack Sabre Jr.
You know what's good about Tai Chi? He eventually leaves. So, Marcus, let's just ask the question. Evil as champion, how does that vibe with you?
I think it's so awkward in the time in which it happened in and with the pivot that they had to do because of everything that's going on. It's so awkward, it's actually probably good. And it's good because, again, you look at the screw somebody like Naito who had waited so long to get to where he got to, and then look like the next man up the bat that's going immediately and obviously at evil is Hiroshi because it's like Hiroshi's career could have been over. He worked his ass off to get back to the family, and evil just shattered it.
That's how you
So
build
it's
heel heat.
like, yeah, that's perfect thing. So while Naito kind of has to emotionally recover, Hiromu, who's essentially been looking to step up to that more heavyweight plate anyway, even with him being IWGP Junior Heavyweight. Um, I think it kills multiple birds with one stone. In a time when you don't really necessarily have a lot of birds to play with. So I think, like I said, it's very much off kilter, for everybody right now. But I think, and you can trust New Japan to play it right because, and everything they do is always playing off connected tissue with the history between these characters. So as long as they do that, and like I said, Hiromu is a perfect guy up at bat, stuff like that, and it'd be interesting to see how things play out with Sonata because does this draw him closer to Lij or pull him away? Because Evil is his boy. He's been tagging with him for long, and obviously, he's ultimately with Lij. But could he be in his boy's ears? Like, look, man, I had to do this to get to where I need to go. What's up with you? So we'll see. It's a lot of threads to pull on there.
I think Ishimori and Sonata are going to be facing off because you got the Bone Soldier versus the Skull Face, the Pirates. Yarg. And if Sonata does start to sniff around the Bullet Club side of things, can there be two skeleton-faced bros? I don't know. Could be a thing. By the by, I'm about to go to Major League Wrestling's Teesprings or Wrestling Tees, whatever it's called, shop, because they have a La Parka, an LA Park face mask for $13.
Oh, nice. Let me know when they. I'm surprised they aren't selling like Bushi or a Naito like masks or like mock suits because whoever their tailor is over there, they do a good job.
They have really tapped into that Italian finery. Respect. So, any other thoughts on Naito and Evil and Lij and Bullet Club and New Japan?
I hope Evil pays for that announcer's ER bill.
Oh God. Also, Dick Togo, out of nowhere. What a surprise! New Japan has become like WWE circa 2016. They're just signing everybody.
Everybody, if New Japan sends fan base up in arms because a guy named Evil and another guy named Dick came together.
That's some evil dick right there. By the by, if they do tag up, that needs to be their name.
Evil Dick.
Evil Dick wins the tag team titles. You can't trust that evil dick. All right, so we got 6 matches for the Slammiversary, Marcus. Let's go through these real fast. I thought there'd be more matches announced tonight. I have not seen anything that would indicate such. Let me just double check real fast. But while I double check, Marcus, we have an old school rules match for the unsanctioned TNA Heavyweight Championship. I don't know what the old school rules match is. I have to imagine, that he is that they are referring to like a hardcore match. Is that what it is?
You would like to give Tommy a fighting chance. Oh man.
Moose has to compete with both hands tied to his ankles. Dreamer still loses.
Krispy Kreme glazed dozen on a pole, man.
They're giving out a box of those for free, Marcus. And I don't eat sugar much anymore. I'll make me a goddamn diabetic, I'll tell you what.
That's something to make a caveat for, man.
Right? Like, all right. I'm going to go in. Let's see what happens. So, Marcus, thoughts on Dreamer and Moose?
Cool if it's with Dreamer's MO to kind of try and check the young coming up, the young bucks, if you will. He could have actually did a damn good promo. What that was a week ago or 2 weeks ago on Moose. After he dropped him, that was a pretty good promo. Probably one of the better ones he's done in recent memory. But yeah, I think this is fine. I don't know where Moose is gonna fit in the coming future with the actual world title, but this has been, to me, and I know a lot of people probably figure it's stupid, but it's been really entertaining for me, and fits to me perfectly with the arrogance, the sheer arrogance of that character. You know, they call him, wasn't he calling himself like Mr. Impact or Mr. TNA?
Yeah, he calls himself Mr. Impact Wrestling.
Yeah, so, you know, and how, you know, ironic it is for the guy that was dead set on taking out all these TNA guys to, you know, basically abscond the title and start defending it on the show. And did I freaking see? And I'm like, well, after tonight I'm gonna be 2 weeks behind. Love catching up, doubling up on the shows. But freaking Johnny Swing in the Suicide outfit.
Yes, you did. AKA Swing Aside.
Hilarious.
Swing aside, tell no lies.
By the way, go to our YouTube channel and check out the videos. You were dead on. That outfit has gotten so much better and looks so much better without them damn oven mitts.
Hey, if you need someone to take your brownies out of the oven, Suicide's your guy. He doesn't mind pain, and he also can't feel it because of them goddamn oven mitts. I think that suit can still be overhauled a lot, but I do like that they're moving in that direction. Now, that doesn't take away from the fact that the original suit was cool at the time it debuted, but I feel like the whole idea of, like, I'm a dark, mysterious character, look at my bright colors, kind of, you know, kind of negates from the whole thing. Like, he looked cool, but he didn't look intimidating. Although that skull mask is badass.
Yeah, it is. It's like, what do you think about Suicide, Timmy? To me, he just looks hot, like actually hot.
Can someone bring him some lemonade? I don't want him to actually commit it. Speaking of committing suicide, I don't care if you're 56. Telling Ken Shamrock he sucks is the quickest way to find yourself dead. Ethan Page and Josh Alexander defending their tag team titles against Ken Shamrock and Sami Callihan. Marcus, I think the end of the North is upon us, or at least the end of their title reign. At least for a few days, anyway. Do you agree with me? By the way, I'm going with Moose as well at Slammiversary. Do you agree with me that Ken Shamrock and Sami Callihan will take the belts, even if only for a few days, from the North?
Yeah, going back to the first one, I'm going with Moose as well. As anybody trying to put a title on Tommy Dreamer in 2020 needs to be taken out back and shot. But
I was thinking about doing it, so I'll see my way out back. Ooh, look, a 12 gauge. Who's that for? Oh, wait.
Or in a slightly more sadistic, but I guess more humane way, take him out back and pull the trunch bowl and make him eat too much cake.
Oh, but, you might as well just put me in a cell with Tammy Sitch. You have every STD? How is that possible?
Like, no, I'll take the cake.
I'll take the shotgun. Just both barrels pull it. Let's go.
But yeah, I'm right there with you, man. I think, and you also gotta And also feeding to the point that they've been getting a lot of promotion for we know how it goes when so much emphasis is being put on the longest reign thing. We saw the same thing with Taya, you know. Um, so like I said, I think they've had a really good run, even with some of the obviously the hurdles that they've had to jump in terms of this COVID thing. I think they've done a great job to remain entertaining when they could have just been completely in the background doing nothing because they didn't necessarily have a slew of opponents. But yeah, I got to give it to Shamrock and Callahan too. How many times have we seen this? Who that was? Sean Cena. So many rivals turned into the tag team champions in wrestling history, not just in WWE, but to see Sham
Sammy Sham.
and set, bam, there it is. Just that chemistry. And by the way, hilarious that one of the most talked about segments of Impact was the freaking Madison Rain thing.
Oh, with the
Imagine,
brawl.
yeah, yeah, with the she goes to the camera at the on the floor. Imagine those two on her show.
That
You
would
and him,
be entertaining.
Callahan popping up like Rosemary, the lights go out and all that stuff. So to me, that's just a great pathway to entertainment. Like I said, it takes away nothing from the North because you got two legitimate badasses in Callahan and Shamrock, and yeah, Callahan's been kind of reluctantly but purposefully having Shamrock's back, so I think it makes perfect sense. I think we in for a really good match too.
I think that too. The one thing that I've noticed about Shamrock is, when he came back, it did look like he was kind of, I don't want to say limited, but he looked almost lost at times. But
Hmm.
since he's come back, especially with that triple threat with, who was it, Elgin and
Was
Sammy,
it Elgin? Yeah,
I thought Shamrock has really raised his game. Like, the Moose match at Bound for Glory, I was like, that's the best we can get with Shamrock, and I'm okay with that. But
yeah,
he's put on some really good matches, and he's really shown to be more than what he is. I think it's taken him time to relearn how to do this with his body in the condition that it's in, but he's found it. Like, he's gotten it. And I think that's, a strong sign for what's to come. I don't want to sit here and put him over like he's the next coming of Dean Malenko. No, he's
yeah.
56. Like, this is the best he's going to be, but this isn't bad. And he, again,
Yeah,
like, Impact needs star power. They don't have it.
yeah,
And
yeah.
he
I mean,
and he
like I
does.
said, he's clicking with Callahan, and Callahan could, essentially be lost in translation right now. But he's been working with Shamrock, and he's been, this whole new gimmick he's been sporting has been clicking mostly because a lot of his obviously post him losing the world title and then dumping OVE, and then now his interactions with Shamrock kind of helped that along. And I don't know about you, but to me, the reason why it's working so well with Shamrock is because it looks like he's legitimately having fun
Mm-hmm.
with what he's doing. So that's only gonna help. And like I said, the potential for just comedy gold between him and Callahan. 'Cause him being in that van and the freaking ninjas coming up, that freaking Shamrock, what the hell is going on? Like, that was one of the worst, funniest segments of the year. And then anytime he runs, it's hilarious because it's not good. So yeah, there's a lot of potential there, man. In the North, it's gonna be entertaining with or without the titles. But imagine the rants page is gonna go on without those straps. So
Yeah. And like the craziest thing is like we're looking at the main event scene, and right now Eddie Edwards is the only quote unquote main eventer. But I also think if you look at this honestly, Moose and Dreamer. I know Dreamer's not exactly the stud stable member, but in terms
yeah,
of name value, you can put Tommy Dreamer in the main event and draw something. Like we've seen what he can do with House of Hardcore. He can pull 2,000 to 3,000 fans in, right? Moose, Shamrock, Callahan, and I would argue the North, along with Eddie Edwards, are like your 5 guys right now. And that's not exactly a strong testament, mostly because when you look at Ethan Page and Josh Alexander, they're still fairly new to the
hmm,
eyes of Impact fans. Same with Sami Callihan, but Sami Callihan's been doing this since, 2017, 2016. He debuted in Canada when OV took on LAX. I think that was 2016. So he's been around for almost 4 years. Ethan has been around for about 2, but he was also Chandler Park at one point. So like the Ethan Page gimmick and the North is still relatively new, but they need guys in that main event scene, and I hate to say it, but Ethan Page and specifically Josh Alexander can be the guy to put in the main event scene to be that workhorse guy alongside Eddie Edwards. So I don't know exactly, because the North is too good to break up, but they're too valuable as single stars to keep together. So I don't know what you do beyond, Slammiversary, because you need to replenish that main event scene. And I don't know, Ace Austin and Trey ain't it. I know a lot of people are pulling for both Ace Austin and Trey, but I'm still seeing them as mid-card guys. And Trey doesn't have the promo skills to be a headliner, and Ace Austin is still kind of, I guess, forcing charisma. Does that make sense? Like, when you watch him, he's trying to be charismatic, but I just don't feel it. The one guy on the roster that I think can be, if booked properly, is Willie Mack. But right now he's in the X Division, doing that thing and helping get Chris Bay over. But Chris Bay might leapfrog him because Chris Bay oozes charisma in a way that, guys like Ethan Page and Tommy Dreamer ooze charisma.
Yeah.
So, this is a company in flux, man. Like, we could see some big names come Saturday. It's Saturday. Marcus, it's Saturday. Saturday.
It's funny too having this conversation, just listening to what you're saying. It's one of the first time that like we've had like I feel like we're talking about like Impact being in a situation that's negative, but from a lot of positive angles, if you will. Because all these are good problems to have. Again, even in the midst of this COVID thing, and them rightfully so dumping the talent that they have. Sorry, that just she had to go. Everybody else, that was a no-brainer. But they got a lot of guys who, even with them being like you said, the guys like Trey and Ace, again, talent's never a problem when it comes to Impact, because those guys, Page and all those guys, they've covered a lot of ground in a short amount of time with some quality work. But again, like you said, they do need a name, and not going in the bag and setting your pride aside and going back to pull up a guy like Austin Aries or somebody else. Like, we need, like you said, we need a big name, but we also need a big name who intends to have a lengthy stint with the company. Specifically, if you're going to put a strap on, or the strap on them. So it's going to be interesting seeing what they're going to do, because I would imagine multiple guys are coming back, but only one of those surprise guys are going to be in the main event, correct? So
correct.
It's going to be interesting seeing exactly who they picked with all the teasers that they've made. So we'll see.
We know that we assume the Good Brothers are coming in, Doc Gallows and Carl Anderson. We think Eric Young's coming in. Now, if those are the 3 names, I'm going to be crying, because Eric Young, really? But there's a smorgasbord, if you will, of impressive names that are available. Now, it's not going to be Rusev. Rusev tested positive for the COVID, so he's not coming. But maybe it's an EC3. Maybe it's a James Storm. Maybe it's Nick Aldis, for all we know. The wrestling scene is kind of in flux right now, just like Impact. So we could see, like, it could be fucking Ricky Steamboat. It could be Richie Steamboat, Ricky's son. Like, I don't fucking know. Like, that's what's crazy about this. They've kept a tight lid on this for 6 weeks. It's impressive. I'm hoping it's EC3. I'm hoping it's Kurt Angle. I'm hoping it's Sting. I know it's probably not the last 2, but I can hope. And if it is Angle or Sting, I don't think, Sting definitely not as a wrestler. Angle only to face Shamrock. Make that match happen, please. I think that would be interesting with EC3. Eli Drake would be awesome. James Storm, if he's with Chris Harris, would be cool as fuck. Rusev would have been great if he was healthy. But who knows? Who knows who it's going to be? All I know is Eddie Edwards deserves to walk out of Slammiversary with that title.
I'm right behind you, man. I'm right there with you. I mean, like again, he's a loyal soldier, and to me, that story of him going from, you know, going all the way back to when Lashley was there and actually worth a damn. Um, Getting that title off Lashley, having that run that he had, um, losing it, then kind of descending into this whole thing of madness with Callahan, peaking out of that madness, and now getting back to form from a mental standpoint, anyway. To me, it just, I mean, that's a part of that story, you know. Obviously, I don't know if they use that in a video package, but to me, that's ultimately the story of this man, you know, literally falling off a mental wagon and then getting back on it to get back to glory. So to me, more than anybody, even if they do bring back somebody like an EC3, which I think would be brilliant, considering the fact that it's not like he could be coming in with Spud. Um, I think you got to give it to Edwards. At least you know you have Edwards. You know, like we're not waiting on the shoe to drop with Eddie Edwards like we was with other people. So
What if it's like Conor McGregor or like Henry Cejudo? They said a former
Oh.
world champion.
what is?
Fucking Triple C
what
shows
if-
up. Cringe.
Geez, what if it's Grotto?
Oh God, Grotto. Grado. Oh, Grado can stay in Europe. Oh, no, thank you. No, thank you. All right, so we got a gauntlet for the gold match. It's basically a Royal Rumble for those who don't know what it is. Number one contender, Knockouts Championship. We got Alicia Edwards, Havoc, Kiera Hogan, Kimberly, Kylie Ray, Navia, Madison Rain, Rosemary, Susie, Tasha Steeles, and Taya Valkyrie. I'll tell you what, I'm pulling hard for this is going to be a shocking threesome. Alicia, not really shocking. Kimberly, she's won like one match. And Madison Rain. She's not a great worker in the ring, but she is entertaining as shit.
I think at this point she doesn't even need to be in contention. Although I can see the point of it that will create a lot of material for her to use specifically on her own show. But to me, is Steeles and Hogan in there?
Yes.
Okay, my three picks are Hogan, Rosemary, and Black Horse. I'm going Susie.
Ooh. Did you say Black Horse?
Yeah,
It's Dark
like,
Horse.
I'm in the zone right now. I'm in the zone.
He's looking at Kiera Hogan going,
I gotta get back in my my loveless mode. You fine dog warrior, no. But yeah, I think somebody like Susie could eke out a win, and like I could easily see it coming down. This will be a beautiful little thing. It coming down to like Hogan Steeles because they've been getting they got some momentum coming in this match, and it comes down to the two of them and Susie, and she eliminates both of them.
She just fucking falls and they go over the top rope.
Yeah.
She stands back. That would be actually a great gimmick. She's not great in the ring. But what if Susie just starts to be like extra terrible? Like she can't run the ropes. So like when they whip her into it, she stumbles and they go for a clothesline. They stumble out of the ring, or like she stops to tie her shoes and they go headfirst into a turnbuckle.
She circles her way to victory.
She's the first ever accidental botched champion. I think the two names that obviously make the most sense are Rosemary and Kylie Ray. So I don't know if they're going to go that route. I don't even know. Like the Knockouts title scene is interesting because we've seen this story before. New hotness comes in, but doesn't win. So is Deonna Purrazzo getting crowned at the pay-per-view, or is Jordynne Grace going to retain? So I think that's the question. Like, who do you pair up with? The champion. I think if Purrazzo wins, you give her Rosemary. And if Grace wins, you give her Kylie.
See, it's an interesting thing, too, because you've mentioned this several times, and this has kind of been your mindset, like, because they are forming these tandems all of a sudden, are they bringing back those titles? Or has this just been something to kind of consolidate the great talent that you have and kind of make it make sense on the show? Because in my mind, it's like, okay, I would like Rosemary to get back in contention because even though and we talked about this, she's not somebody that needs to be the champion or needs necessarily to be the spotlight to be one of the most talked about things on the show because of that character. But it's someplace I'd like her to get back to. But now she's aligning herself with Taya, and that can be a whole thing in itself, specifically if you talk about bringing back the tag straps. But to me, like you said, if they give it to Purrazzo, which would be interesting, like I said, I don't know if this is like she's briefly dating Impact like Coda did with the Cruiserweight Classic. So it'll be interesting to see. I wouldn't necessarily take it off Grace because, like I said, it feels like Naito in a way when we've not really gotten to see her do what she could do with a run with that strap because of everything that's been going on. But again, like you said, the company does have a thing sometimes with the new hotness. Well, they did in the past anyway. So we'll see what they do.
That's also why I'm not picking any of the four in Havoc, Hogan, Tasha, or Nevaeh. Mostly because Havoc and Nevaeh make me cringe. But I don't see them as part of the singles division so much as I see them as a potential block for the Knockouts tag team strap should they ever return. Because you would have Alicia and Kimber, Havoc and Nevaeh, Kira and Steels, Taya and Valkyrie, and then Susie and Kylie if they go that route as well. So, like, you know, all of these women have a tag team partner in this match, so to speak.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be interesting to see what happens. And I would like to, you know, like, if you want to make Slammiversary huge, you know, you're bringing back at least 3 names, hopefully more. But I would also like to see them announce the return of the Knockouts tag team titles, especially considering I truly do believe in the next 3 months we're going to see the return of Taylor Wilde. We're also going to see the return of Chris Sabin. Chris Sabin, as I mentioned before a few months ago, is training for a comeback and intends to do it with Impact. So, you know, he's already in the ring with Alex Shelley, and Alex Shelley is trying to stay ready for when Ring of Honor returns because Shelley's going to be in that Ring of Honor Pure Championship tournament. So they're legitimately in the ring training every day, getting ready. So, you know, we could have a lot of names coming back to the company, which just brings me back to the idea of we need that studio show on Saturday nights. We can call it Saturday Night Slam Pack. Actually, you know, I said that as a joke. That ain't bad. That ain't bad at all.
Yeah, now that I think about it, this is going to be just such a fun. So just to see who does pop up. Like I saw, like, and I know they've always had a working relationship. I don't know how much in wrestling she does these days, but it will be cool to see, like, somebody. Because she's just always somebody they go to, like ODB pop up or something like that. She's always cool, but it really will be cool because we're going to get to the main event. It really will be cool to see those 3 letters flash up on the screen for that entrance. EC3. Hold on.
There's a number in there. Mark's like, fuck you. 3's a letter today.
EC3. Yeah.
I was thinking TNA, MVP. I was like, you know, MVP wouldn't be too bad. You know, he's in that Shamrock stage of his career where he's not what he once was, but what he is can still be better than what you have. So, well, unless you're the WWE.
And it's interesting. Apparently, they came up with that title and just gave it the MVP. Like, I guess in a chance he wins the legitimate title, he's just going to change it to that.
That title's ugly.
So I'm like, wait a minute. Are y'all just legitimately telling everybody that he's going to beat Apollo at this point? Because if he's got the damn new title, then he has whatever. I don't care about this booking anymore. I'm barely watching these shows.
Well, you're not the only one, but we'll get there. Willie Mack versus Chris Bay. So I appreciate both the Grace and Purrazzo and Bay and Mack matches and the setups because they're both great young talents with great possibilities. But I'm also very frustrated because Bay is 2.5 months in the company. Purrazzo's 4 days. And you're putting them against 2 young in the terms of title reigns champions. And you're forcing a narrative now to be made between young champions, you know, short reign champions, possibly dropping the belts to people who just showed up for their cup of coffee. I don't like that because I don't want Bay or Purrazzo to lose, but it's also still too early in Mac and Grace's title wins. Now, granted, Grace won hers, I think, in January, but she's been gone for 4 fucking months.
Yeah.
So it doesn't feel like it's been 7 months. And then you have Mac, who just won it in April, which granted was 2 months ago, but still. So we're not at that point where I think we're ready to crown new champions in those divisions without hurting the stock of Grace and Mac. So I don't want to pick against Chris Bay because he's been money on television. What a great villain. But I don't know if Willie Mack's super popular. I mean, he's not fucking Kenny Omega going to AEW popular, but he's got his fan base. I don't want to see that belt come off him too soon, mostly because I want to see what he can do as champion, which we really haven't seen. So I'm hoping Mac and Grace both retain. But I also don't want to see 2 fucking countouts or 2 fucking DQs or right? Like, this is why I think you got to be a little bit smarter as a booker.
No, man, I'm right there with you. I mean, I think it comes down to how you book those finishes. Coming off what you said. Because in both cases, and this works perfectly, both of these, both Bay and Purrazzo are supremely confident coming into these matches, and their mind is foregone conclusions.
Mm-hmm.
So with Purrazzo, you could have her over-rely on that armbar, and with Bay, all you got to do is make him flex like when you're doing a Madden game and you
start doing the high step.
The high step on the way and just you somebody come up behind and you fumble at the goal line. Just do that. That's all you got to do in both instances, but do them in different ways. And I think because to me, they're so early, Chris Bay and Deonna, in their pursuit, if you will, that they can afford to take a L specifically because of that overconfidence. Somebody like Grace, I mean, all you need is one slip. She's so powerful, she can, just bear hug you to death and get you out of there, or she could drop you with that Grace driver. And with Mac, you can't, come on, man, it's Mac. He almost beat the North by himself. The North. So, you can have Swinger in there with a couple shenanigans and have maybe Swan come out and provide a distraction or something. Who knows? I know he's not medically clear, but he can do something. So, I think you can throw a couple unique and smart hijinks in there, but, don't do no F finishes with those matches. Like, do some real smart, creative finishes that work with all 4 of those characters uniquely, and I think you can come out with some good stuff.
So, Bay's character is that he likes to cheat. Like, he's fine with it. He's got no scruples. What if the match is going the way it's going and Bay's cheating all the way? He's doing the Kamaru Usman foot stomp. Maybe he's poking Mac in the eyes. But maybe at a certain point, Willie Mack gives, like, Swinger a thumbs up on the way out, or, like, a backstage promo where he's like, hey, Swinger, after this is all said and done, how about me and you go get a beer? Oh, hell yeah. Because, Willie Mack's got that Austin going on. And Swinger just wants a friend, right? Like, that's all he wants. And so maybe at some point during the match, like, Willie Mack will, like, pull Swinger out of the way from a Chris Bay, like, big boot, or I don't know if he does a big boot, but, like, he could do a big boot. And, like, maybe Swinger was about to get, like, fucking clipped by Bay in the corner, but, Mack pulled him out of the way, and Swinger's like, oh, my God, he's my new friend, because he's so desperate. And then Bay goes to grab that title because he just wants to cheat. It's what he does. And maybe Swinger grabs the title from Bay, which allows Mack to hit the stunner and get the win. I think that would be interesting. Or, Rich Swann could just throw his crutch at Chris Bay's head. From, like, and literally from nowhere. Like, you don't even see Swann. You just see a crutch go from, like, one end of the arena into Bay's face. Oh, it must have been Rich Swann.
Oh, give me that. Or, because now I'm thinking of almost like a WWE Orton moment. Bay's setup is he kind of walks the guy to the ropes and then springboard for the super famous, right?
Yes.
Like, have him walk those ropes or get ready to do the springboard, but instead of going directly forward, like, he gets on the ropes, and before he jumps, he, like, flexes or poses and points at Swinger, and as he comes off the ropes, boom, catch him with a stunner.
That'd be cool. That would work.
Yeah, and drop him like that. And again, like I said, that works perfectly. with that whole deal. And like I said, the stunner is perfect for that. Or your thing, or like the swing, like your thing, like you said, swinger to provide distractions all throughout the match, and then he's got the ref distracted. Mac is just through with it, and then you see, like you said, you see Bay go in his pocket to get rid of something, and Back's got his back turned because he's focusing on swinger, and then like you said, then you threw the crutch out of nowhere.
From out of nowhere, from downtown.
From downtown. That'll be so damn funny.
From Swan Town.
And then you just see Mac get the pin after the stunner, and then you just see Mac freaking swingers like got his hands on his head, like going, "What the F happened?" And then they just pan the Swan who's just dancing. He's freaking hitting the robot, just hitting the robot in the walkway.
He's got like a halo around him with like the 6 feet distance around him. I like your idea. Like if you don't want to switch up the status quo or have a persnickety kind of ending where you go a little bit cheap, that's the way to go. Like have Bay cost himself the title. With Purrazzo and Grace, I think we're gonna both agree on this one. Have Grace get stuck in the armbar. And either have Grace powerbomb or like judo slam Purrazzo from the ground, or just have her get in the position and like hook her leg and like pull it over her shoulders and get the 3 count. Like use the armbar as a pinning position, and get the win that way. Like I think that would be great because it would be like Purrazzo almost had it, like she had it, like it was hooked in. Like 2 more seconds, Grace would have tapped, but Grace was able to get in the position and get the 3 count. I think that would be a great ending.
Yeah. You know what I was thinking about, having like her just like I said, being real over relying on that thing, and then Grace just powering out. But I think with your idea, it leaves again more room for Purrazzo to come back and kind of be like you. It reminds me of what we got with because we always praise Sean for his matches with Taker and stuff, but that that series he had with John Cena was great too because he beat him at Mania, and he tapped him out, and he was like, you beat me that night, but you weren't the better man, type of deal, and which led to that. I think that great what that was like an hour-long match they had on Raw.
Yeah, where Sean got his win back.
Yeah, I think you could do something like that. Well, Purrazzo keeps coming after her because it's like you beat me, but you want the better woman. So I think with your idea, it definitely works. Because having Grace, even though she's basically got jumped and she's been running after her, having her power out of the arm bar, like muscle up into a bear hug, slam her down, and then hit her with the Grace drive is almost too definitive. That'll be for like the last dance between the two or something like that. So I think with your way it works, and then even more than that, have her attack her after the match, and then like almost pentagon her with the arm type of deal. Kind of maim her.
I like that. I like that a lot. And the line I'm thinking of, like as soon as it's over, like the first night on Impact, or even like, because what I wish Impact would do those post match pressers like New Japan and AEW does, because they did it once and it was super cool. But like have Purrazzo go, Jordynne, you didn't win tonight, you simply survived, and then walk away, because like that would be an emphatic like, I know I beat you. And if the rules were different, you wouldn't have won. And maybe you can even set up then for like a submissions match, which I don't think we've ever seen in Impact. Have Purrazzo versus Grace in a submissions only match, because like that's how you can beat Grace. Then Grace can say, well, if we were talking pinfalls, you never beat me, but when you take that away, yeah, I become super susceptible because I'm not a big submission girl. So like I think that's a great way to do an extended feud. Unlike what the WWE does, where they just go, oh, we're going to put King Corbin and I was about to call him Tyler Black. We're going to put King Corbin and Aleister Black in a 4-month feud. What are they going to do? I don't know, just wrestle each other in tag matches for 16 weeks? Super creative. Oh, I can't explain what. How come the ratings are so down?
I mean, the great thing about that feud is it's 2 ways to go. If you absolutely are gonna, if you want to pull the trigger to me on Purrazzo and put the strap on her, do it in like this second or third showdown, right? Like do it Like when it's like they put it on the line, like if I beat you this time, you're out of title contention or you leave the company or something. And then have it to where like with the um I know I keep referencing WWE feuds, but they just keep coming to my head immediately. Like the Christian Orton feud when he just kept pissing him off to the point where he got himself disqualified. I think they did a match where if he got disqualified, he lost the strap or something like that.
I like to call that the little brother feud because,
Yeah,
like any good little brother, that's what you do. You keep pissing off the older brother until you get what you want.
exactly. And to me, like Jordynne's greatest weakness is her temper, and Purrazzo is her confidence. So you can do that either way, but I think it's more imperative to continue that chase with Grace because again, she's been wanting to literally wring her neck for weeks now. She's not been able to get her hands on her. So when she finally does, kind of keeping her in check and kind of torn with that thing, I think you can, like again, I think it's definitely gonna come down to the booking. If they kind of do just plain butter white toast with these matches, after everything we just said, which are far more better outcomes and interesting points, it's not gonna come off as well as it should. So
I think you could actually plan this out until October. I think you could do this entire feud heading into Bound for Glory. But here's what I would do. At Slammiversary, I would have Purrazzo use kicks, punches, and all types of judo throws to have Grace land on that shoulder, to land on that elbow. And then put her in the armbar. And instead of her tapping, she gets the fluke win, so to speak. She gets that last second KO, but in a pinning formation. Gets the 1, 2, 3. Purrazzo's like, you kidding me? I've been kicking her ass for 12 minutes and I lose? And then you go and you do the idea that I had before about the submissions only match, but you go into that event, August, September, and it's a no ropes match, right? Like you go blood sport. Fucking Josh Barnett's in the corner. Fucking Minoru Suzuki's in the rafters, already bleeding because he just loves blood sport so much. But you institute that like the only way you can win is with a submission, and there's no rope breaks. So basically, what you end up doing is have Purrazzo again dominate, but this time win quickly in like 5 minutes. Because, what's Grace going to do? She doesn't have the same kind of submission grappling to her name value, so she gets tapped. But then you have Grace maybe leave TV for 2 or 3 weeks and then come back saying, from this day on, you're not going to see me until Bound for Glory. I'm not going to be present. I'm not going to be anywhere. I'm going to be in the gym 24/7 working out so goddamn always that when you see me, the only thing you're going to know is that I'll be your Huckleberry for the night. And then Grace shows up in a new outfit with a new look. Maybe she goes, whole ham hock and shaves her head. I don't know. That would be terrible. Don't do that. That's a bad idea. But, bring her in with a new look. She comes in, Purrazzo, 12 seconds into the match, tries to go for the armbar. Grace catches her, power bombs her 5, 6, 7, 8 times in a row, and then foot stomp on the chest, 1, 2, 3. It makes Purrazzo look like she got overconfident and that Grace got even better. She Goku'd Vegeta.
oh no, see now I'm finna play to your strength. Have her do that power bomber, like you said, savagely 4 or 5 times. Like do the Brock continuous hold, like the triple slam with the power bomb thing, like you used to do the smaller guys. Flip her over, step on her back, have her go, and just do the Rusev, but bust out the Steiner recliner.
Oh, yeah. Do this. That would be great. You could prolong it a little bit more and do a sequel to the submission match if the first one gets any traction, and that's how you end it. She just locks in the Steiner recliner. Or you could do it that night, too, if that's all you want to do a feud with. But, you could do a good 3 months. Make Purrazzo look good. And, you could even have Purrazzo facing all the other knockouts and have her win Ronda Rousey style in under 5 minutes in all her matches, thus making Grace's return even more epic and making her win even more pronounced. Kind of like Amanda Nunes, where Nunes was getting, fucking shafted by every chick she fought, and then all of a sudden, she flips the switch. And granted, she only has 2 losses, but still. She flips the switch, goes against Rousey, fucking KOs her in 20 seconds. She's like, what's up, what's up? You could do that with Grace, and I think that would be a really interesting idea. But I'm a good creative guy. I don't know if they're as good as me.
Like you said, this is something because again, if you're gonna have all those other women occupied, I don't want to see Rosemary get into a bunch of championship situations and then lose.
Right.
So to me, like you said, I think they can do almost give Purrazzo that Tessa vibe, but in a submission sense. Because she kind of, I mean, Tessa she ran through the division.
Mm-hmm.
And do that, like you said, in Grace's absence, because you can legitimately injure her and take her out. She doesn't necessarily have to defend that strap for 30 days. That's a thing that only gets used necessarily when certain storylines call for it. But do that, have her, like you said, go through the kind of division. Um, and basically becomes like the arm taker, if you will, type of deal. But put up some good fights against, people like, and I know it's a heel on heel thing, but I can see somebody like, Hogan stepping up to the plate, some other names to if have you, but yeah, it's a lot of potential. I mean, you milk that thing, you do get the mileage out of that they got out of Rosemary and Yim.
Yeah. Yeah.
They got a lot of good mileage out of that feud, man, and it raised both of their levels, specifically Yim. So I think you can really definitely do that with them, and I think somebody like Purrazzo is looking to get that kind of caliber of match. She basically was starved out in NXT, and I know she wants to hit all the promotions she can, but like the high profile match, the better. And I think a few like this is something she's been waiting for. She obviously didn't get a chance to get to it in ROH because of just all the shenanigans, period, let alone with the women over there. So I hope they would do something like this, but I don't know with the booking. Like you said, I feel like we just booked them up to Bound for Glory in both practically their X division and their women's. So we ain't even got to the main event yet. So hope they listening.
I would be all right with you guys paying us $1,000 a month on commission, and we'll write your shows for you. You can take all the credit. We don't care. You just give us a little cash on the side, and we'll make sure your product is New Japan levels awesome. We'll help. We'll hook you up. We're that good. All right, Ace Austin, Eddie Edwards, Trey, and TBD. Honestly, Eddie should win and then get a new outfit on the next Impact and call him the Golden One or some dumb nonsense Okada name. The Pain Maker. That's already taken. The Check Bouncer. I don't fucking care. Just give him a new name, new gimmick, new look. Have him shave. Have him stop eating carbs. Get him to look like he's a fucking champ.
Yeah, as soon as he wins the strap, call Sportsmaster from Stargirl.
Hey, Eddie, buddy. I don't see anything on this menu that's on your diet. Except for maybe that water over there. I think the thing that works with Eddie is, let's say Shamrock and Sammy don't win the titles. Your next 3-4 matches with Eddie for title matches, if you want to book this like MMA style, could be Shamrock, Moose, and Callahan heading into Slammiversary, into Bound for Glory. I don't know about you, but I think Eddie versus Callahan is your obvious Bound for Glory main event. Not your necessarily only one, but like if you're looking at the roster today, what do you want for a main event for your quote-unquote biggest show of the year, which I think should be Slammiversary, but it's Bound for Glory, whatever. I think you go with one that has your two biggest names, or at least your biggest name and your best worker. You go with one that has history, and you go with one that has a history of great matches, which would be Edwards and Callahan. Now, you could also go with Moose in a quote-unquote title for title match, but I don't think Moose has the same chemistry with Eddie as Sammy does. But Moose would also be a good plan B if you want a new champion crown to come to pay-per-view. But I would give Eddie like a 2-year run. No joke. Like I would give him like 18 months CM Punk style. Like let him work that belt. Get that Tessa stain off of it, because they're going to need to work hard to get this belt back in respectability.
Yeah, they are. Like again, I say even with the TBD thing, we still going with Edwards because I just think it's time. He's in that space. He's in that mindset. We not having him having freaking therapy sessions with a kendo stick. That's kind of out of the way. Even though I'm pretty sure Kenny is still around.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, Ace Austin and Trey Miguel, to me, they could really cancel each other out of the match and kind of leave it between Edwards and whoever they think. I was just thinking, rattling off names in my head of who TBD could be, and I'm like, to me, somebody would be in the same vein of a Miguel and a Austin. So to me, somebody like EC3, I think would top that off nice. And like I said, have Austin and cancel each other out because you usually see Austin trying to whisper something in Miguel's ear about his mom, the Stifler's mom situation. And like I said, leave it to Edwards and EC3 to kind of top things off and have Edwards squeak out with the win. And then obviously, I don't think it's something new to have EC3 obsessed with getting the world title. So, you know, that'll be something that can definitely carry you somewhere.
I would definitely be interested in seeing what happens because the future of Impact is dependent on the next world champion, and it needs to be someone who's sticking around, and it needs to be a long title reign, and it needs to be a title reign with a lot of guys who can make that champion look good and can really really become someone who can stake a claim to Mr. Impact, Mr. Impact World Champion, the face of the company, because they don't have one. And it was going to be Tessa, but Tessa decided to go all Tessa like she does. So I'm hoping that this match at Slammiversary gets us that new face. I, for one, even let's just fucking say that it's not a mystery person, like a debuting name. Maybe we're gonna get the mystery people in different avenues. But what if they just put Shamrock in the main event and he wins? I'd be fine with that fucking too. Because the belt needs prestige. It needs a name. It needs someone who has respect on that. And Ace Austin and Trey, especially since Trey went from Trey Miguel to Trey, ugh, I fucking hate that. And they did it to all the Rascals. Oh, it's so bad.
Yeah, they did do that to all the Rascals. Oh man, they did do that. They freaking McMahon the names, but yeah, it'll be interesting. Like obviously, I think in one of our dream possible scenarios, it'll be like Edwards, like ultimately coming out with a title with somebody, even with the positive debut of a TBD, but then like somebody takes him out, they're masked and they unmask and it's freaking David Richards.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be something cool. And honestly, somebody like him could be TBD, but I think that something like that'll be better. But look, man, we just got through talking about it again. Go check out our YouTube channel about the top 10 debuts. Edwards has been there since what, 2014?
Yeah.
Like, come on, man, you go with loyalty. Not like you going with loyalty. Like I'm telling you to freaking put it on Shark Boy. Like I'm saying, and shout out to Shark Boy. He's always brilliant when he pops up every blue moon. But come on, man, Edwards, man, I think back on him, and all you got to do is put him in the right feuds at this point. Because I like Austin and Miguel, but you don't put the belt on Austin or Miguel.
Mm-hmm.
You don't. It's not there. Trey's got some ways to go, and Austin is at a point. But I feel like the only reason why it was kind of thing to put him in that position, it was coming off the Tessa thing, but she's not there anymore. So, like I said, it's Edwards or whoever, because if they pull out EY, they better not drop it on him.
And that's the thing I'm terrified about, because that's something they would absolutely do. So we do have videos on our YouTube channel besides our podcast. You can check them out. Right now we've had what do we got? The first one is top 10 TNA Impact OGs. We got top 10 Slammiversary matches. We have more than these because I remember we did this 3 times now. We got top 10 wrestling themes. We have the one that we just uploaded yesterday, 10 former Impact wrestlers who will probably never come back, although I forgot the name wrestlers. And then tomorrow we have TNA Impact Wrestling debuts, and Friday we have the top 10 worst Slammiversary matches getting uploaded. So definitely go check it out. It's super hella fun. Marcus and I just riff the entire time making fun of shit. I think that's one of those things where, when you get along with someone, the content just gets better. That's my personal opinion. So that's Slammiversary. Marcus, besides the Good Brothers, who are you hoping to see? And it doesn't need to be any of the names we've been talking about. Just who are you hoping? Are you thinking maybe a CM Punk? Monty Brown? Maybe maybe you're thinking Ahmed Johnson, in which case I will slap you.
Far outshoot fantasy right here. Monty would be great. Classic throwback, like I said. I mean, because a lot of these teasers could just be that, just teasers.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think somebody like a Anderson would be cool. But I want Anderson with that mic drop.
Yes.
They bring it in. Um, like Anderson and Gallows, that'll be cool. Hell, even Mike Kanellis in a way, depending on what they do with it, that'll be cool. Um, it's hard for me besides Anderson and to say anybody with aces and eight. Like I'm not calling for Garrett Briscoe. you know,
Garrett Briscoe.
You know, yeah. Even though I just his whole career to me is defined by that lethal lockdown dog walking he got. you, you remember that, but yeah, I'm trying to see anybody else that's actually worth it. Red's retired, right?
Amazing Red?
Yeah.
Not necessarily.
Mm.
He's been coaxed back for New Japan, so
yeah,
it's always possible.
Yeah, but yeah, everybody else is is kind of locked down or something like that. No pun intended, but also we wouldn't see Magnus, Crimson Security at NWA, right? So,
oh God, let's not even joke about that one. Crimson.
Yeah, that's yeah. I think my top is like the EC3s, the Mr. Andersons, the Mike Bennett, sort of like you said, the Good Brothers. If they're not going to New Japan,
the deal that I
just
heard is that it's going to be both Impact and New Japan.
Okay.
But they can't obviously work New Japan at the moment, so.
Yeah, like EY would be cool, and it would. Like I said, you can catch him between, I guess, the super thing, which they teased, or he could try to go back to the EY we left off with, which, even though people I know didn't like that whole thing with him with that run, I did think we had some feel good moments with that. But again, I say he looks like he's a biker now instead of like the guy that had like a TV show or world title. Like he had the world at one point, it felt like. So. Now he just feels like a Son of Anarchy offshoot character for an episode that needed like an extra.
Oh God, is he a black vest? Did he just show up and die one day?
Oh wait a minute! Oh shoot! Because I hope to God we don't get anything bullet related. Is he the new leader of Aces?
Oh God! If they make like a big play for Aces and Eights and like they get Eric Young, Doc, Gallows. And like they just go full on in that idea, and Anderson, Doc, Gallows, Luke, not Luke, Carl Anderson, Mr. Anderson, Doc Gallows, Eric Young, a couple other names. Like I'd be fine with that. Like that would be a great way to end. Or maybe you just fucking maybe instead of like having Eric Young or Mr. Anderson be the leader, like you bring all those guys in, and then Sami Callihan becomes leader of Aces and Eights. He's really good with leading a cult.
But if we see Tyrus, I'm putting my laptop down. I swear to God.
If Tyrus shows up, I'm just going home. I'll already be home, but I'm just gonna go home.
Oh man!
You just see me walking by. Where's he going? He lives like half a continent away.
This will be the first time you ever see me and Chad both and not, simultaneously tweet in all caps. Like we pride ourselves on not being those guys, but if you bring Tyrus in.
Boy, Tyrus.
Oh God.
Boy. I wouldn't mind if they go super gimmicky comedy EY. I think he vibes well with that, and you can also have a lot of fun with him there. especially with like guys like Johnny Swinger and Johnny Bravo. Like those guys would have a lot of fun together, I like to imagine. Or you could bring in EY to be the head of cancel culture. But I don't know what they're going to do with that stable. They, Rob Van Dam and Jake Chris haven't been seen on TV in a while for obvious reasons. So let's just run through the rest of the news real fast because surprisingly that took us an hour. Marcus and I can riff for a while, folks. It's one of our talents. So I don't like speaking for Marcus because Marcus he's a big boy. He can say his own nonsense, as I can. But I think it's fair to say that we're both super disappointed with the way Kenny Omega's been booked in AEW. Would that be a fair thing to say for you?
Yeah.
Kenny Omega left New Japan literally with the ability to elevate a wrestling company to prominence. And he goes to AEW and loses everything. So Omega responds to this, saying that, fans are mad about it. And this article goes on to say the idea behind Omega taking his time to build other talent and strengthen the tag team division during his first year in AEW is because he was set to be built as a star in year 2, according to Dave Meltzer. He notes that this might still be the direction AEW takes with Omega, which makes no goddamn sense. He's responded. Omega has responded to the criticism of his AEW singles career, saying, "Because I decided to take a different path in my career, because I'm not doing these long, drawn-out 45-minute to 1-hour matches in singles competition, it doesn't mean I'm not the same guy. This isn't about tooting my own horn, but it's like I'm now helping run a company that has live television every Thursday. I'm part of a very successful tag team with Adam Page, a guy that I have a lot of chemistry with, and I'm existing within a division of guys that are amongst the top of all tag team on the planet and showing that it takes more than just having a good time long singles match to be called the best in the world." See, here's the problem I have with that, Marcus. I've seen some of his tag team matches. I've seen that tag team division. You got all the talent in the world, but there's no substance there. Like, they keep jumping from guy to guy to guy to guy to guy to guy to guy. And it's like there's really no semblance of a rivalry at this point with anyone. At least nothing in the vein of, like, look at what Impact has been doing for the last 4 years, 5 years, 6 years. The tag team division since the end of, I would argue, 2011 has been the best division consistently, or at least one of the best divisions consistently, even in their downtrodden years. Say what you will about Robbie E. and Jesse Goddard, and you can say a lot about the Bromans. They were highly entertaining, and they put on some good matches with the Wolves, and then the Wolves took over, had some great matches with the Hardys and Bully Ray and Devon. Then you had the whole Broken Hardy stuff with the belts on the line. Then you go into the era with LAX and OVE, and they were killing it, and then LAX and the OGs, and they were killing it. Then LAX and Pentagon and Phoenix, and they were killing it. Now you're in the North era, and the North has been nothing but must-see TV every week, especially when they were stuck in Canada for an entire set of tapings. They literally went out of their way, brought in a bunch of indie talent, just had some goofy-ass segments, and it worked every week. But I don't feel that way about AEW's tag team division. You watch it far more regularly than I do, I think. How do you feel about the tag team division? Do you feel like these, because these are some of the best names in the world and tag team, we know that. But do you feel like they're being used as such? Because I don't.
No, I mean, like, when you compare it like that, I mean, look, I know that the end thing is the constant knock Impact. That's just a thing, and I get it. But we always try to find the substance and stuff, and you 100% bang on about that. Like, that really took me back in a good way. You going through everything that division has gone through, and those straps have been consistently one of the best things on the show because of just the legitimacy. Like, they've not, quote unquote, been on a perceived clown group, if you will, no pun intended, to decay, just in terms of perception since, I guess, the Bromance. But again, they had a lot of good moments that, I think got overlooked. And even I think they were beginning to do some good stuff with Goddard when they broke him off in the singles, but that kind of fell through. So, with AEW, like, I do try to catch it every week. And they got you got the Bucks, the Lucha Bros. Now you got, FTR. You got, I'm about to say Bad Influence, but SoCal Uncensored, Private Party. Like, you have the teams, Kenny and Page, you have the teams But like you said, it's kind of just a bunch of one-off stuff. And if they're all feuds, they're small, like the Bucks and the Lucha Bros, or the Bucks now and FTR, depending. It's not anything sustainable. It's a lot of good one-off matches, and the division seems to be one of the best on paper. They got a lot of talent, but it's nothing like you said sustainable. Like all those feuds and the Impact are memorable. And one of the best matches they had this year was the North versus Tessa and Edwards,
Mm-hmm.
and that was just kind of just a one-off thing. So, like you said, one-offs is cool, but they're not nothing that's sustainable or memorable. Like I'm pretty sure a lot of people, because they like flash over substance, think that that match that the Bucks had with the Lucha Bros when they was just kind of putting each other through stuff was memorable. But that's like we kind of evolved past that. At least me and you have anyway. But yeah, they do need to get together. I don't even necessarily click all the way with Page and Omega. Like I feel like his whole thing about going heel has been prolonged because of this COVID thing.
Mm-hmm.
So in my mind, I'm just waiting on that other shoe to drop. Like, why don't y'all put that? Because if you're not gonna separate the bros, put the straps on them and have them wreak terror, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, but I mean that's just me. But to me, like this whole Page and Kenny thing, like they work, but how long you feel? I feel like they've been building that him going potentially going heel since day one. We talked about him being a wino and not giving a damn about anything. And I'm just like, now I just I'm watching the clock. Like, yeah, they do good matches, but now I'm just watching the clock because I know where it's gonna go. So I get Kenny doing what he's doing. I'm pretty sure he's being pulled at multiple points from having the book stuff with the men, and I think he kind of oversees the women. So I get he pulling like damn near full weight, full tool player that he's having to pull. But I think it's the drop off from his run in New Japan because he was the man, and then he left, and then he comes here and he's kind of like he's Miller. It's like if CM Punk went anywhere and became a tag team partner or something. It's not going. That momentum transition from where you were is kind of it's a lot to deal with. So I appreciate his efforts, but that company has to be able to rely on people that's not Jericho.
Mm-hmm.
And Cody is only ever as good as, I guess, his opponent. I mean, we know he's gold on the mic, but between that title and some of his opponents right now, if he thinks this is the John Cena U.S. Challenge, he ain't been watching tape.
Also, John Cena doesn't look like a raging douchebag with a stupid neck tattoo. Dumbass. I agree with
that hair, the full head of hair of his is still off-putting as hell.
Yes. That hairstyle, man. Like, I don't know. It's weird. It both looks like it's combed back and spiky. How do you do that? How do you do that? Because it's too long for it to be spiky. I get, I don't know. I don't know. It's fucking weird. That being said, I agree with everything you said about Kenny Omega. And the one thing I will say about Omega, if you can't have the New Japan style booking, I don't need you to do 50 minutes every night, man. Like, no one's fucking asking for that. We're asking that you don't lose matches to Neville. We're asking that you don't lose matches to guys who haven't been seen since 2019, right? Like, I don't even remember who remember when AEW launched their roster and they had like a bunch of guys no one's ever heard of. We've never seen them again. Okay. Like, all we're asking is that you win your fucking matches. Like, it's not hard to be well booked. Like, fucking Christ. Like, you look at Omega's win-loss record, it's not good. And unfortunately, they advertise that shit every day. So, like, you can go look at it. It's not good. Not for Kenny Omega. Either step back from the women's division, which you are not doing a great job with anyway, or step back as a wrestler. You pick, dude. But you obviously cannot handle doing both because your run in AEW has hurt your viability. It has hurt your essence. It has hurt your aura. It has hurt your name value. You may disagree with that, but I don't see anyone else clamoring to see a Kenny Omega title run anymore. But we were when you first joined. Now it's all about that Jon Moxley. Speaking of title runs, Big Keith Lee won the belts. Yeah, good for you, Keith Lee. He beat Adam Cole some time ago. I don't give a fuck about NXT, like at all, even slightly. But Keith Lee, you know, he's super impressive. People like him. He's in a situation now where, you know, he's going to be calling some shots and seeing what he can do long term. And he wants to let people know that he and Donovan Dijakovic, he wants him in a main event WrestleMania match. I've never been a big Dominic Dijakovic fan. He used to be in Ring of Honor, and he didn't do it for me there. You liked him though, didn't you? Dijak?
Yeah, he was cool in Ring of Honor. It's I think my intrigue with him came from just seeing a guy like that do the things that he does, because he, in a lot of ways, he reminds me of Punishment.
Mm-hmm. Very similar build,
that,
very similar style.
Yeah, and it's always just cool to see those guys. Although I think Punishment to me does a better job at doing stuff that's very athletic, but when he, like, anytime he does anything that's like, I guess, jaw dropping, I never questioned him actually doing it. Like, it's like I think Orton used to get kind of yelled at the backfield, like, why is somebody of your height and your natural ability doing a crossbody off the top rope? You're going to shorten your career. And obviously he's transitioning into a more methodical style that suits him. So to me, Jacoby kind of goes in that thing of like, it's cool that you did it, but I don't think you needed to, type of deal. And we've kind of gotten him and Lee before, and it comes off very much like a kaiju fight, and that's cool. That's cool. But to me, I appreciate like a match between like a Keith Lee and a nice 30-minute match between like a Keith Lee and a Roderick Strong or something like that.
Why would you do that to Roddy? What did he do to you? It's because he's white, isn't it? Oh, Marcus on that hate train again. Can you even tell who Roddy is? Does he look like Adam Cole to you? Granted, Adam Cole looks like a thin Shawn Michaels to me, so maybe I'm on that train too.
Pre-store accessories is Roderick Strong to Adam Cole, and just I guess stardom and far more, I guess, talent is Adam Cole to Shawn Michaels. But yeah, it's interesting. Like, yeah, agreed. But I do think they got chemistry. It's just like I'm not. The stuff that they do when they're in the ring, to me, is very much catered to that NXT audience, because it's not that hard to get those people to pop. But to me,
no, it's not.
Like, I'd rather him like throw out a challenge to the main roster when everything's kind of settled, and him reignite that thing he had with Roman Reigns.
Keith Lee and Roman Reigns?
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be interesting. I'd vibe on that. I feel like Dijakovic just does a lot of big kicks. Am I right about that? He looks like a kicker.
Yeah, like a big kick guy. Like, and sometimes he'll do these dives. I'm like, that really wasn't necessary. I get it, but okay. Like, he does it like some of that the thick Ono guy. Yeah, Ono, Cassius Ono. He does like a lot of those cyclone kicks and stuff like that. And it's hard hitting, and it's brutal. It's a brutal flesh battle, but I like to see somebody kind of methodically try to break down Lee as opposed to just run the car into him. So,
to be fair, Keith Lee is the car, so he'd be hitting himself. Fun factoid, Marcus. Do you want to know why I became such a big Booker T fan?
Besides the fact that he's from Africa.
It's my home country of Africa. Calm down, Book. Buy an Atlas.
Atlas.
He had 3 really cool ass kicks back in WCW. He had the Harlem side kick, he had the axe kick, and then he did the standing side kick. And I loved watching him do it because he was so fluid with that. So I don't know, if Dijakovic's a kicker, I might just become a Dijakovic fan, assuming he can hit a bomb-ass axe kick. Because let's face it, not since Booker has an axe kick been delivered as efficiently.
Yeah, man. I mean, look, man, I'm a big kick guy, too. Is why I always appreciate the first Mortal Kombat going with Liu Kang. Because I am a Kick guy. Shout out to Jean-Claude.
Lou T.
But
Booker King.
Is that all you got, Sorcerer? Well,
Your soul is mine.
Sucker, dig it. We're coming for you, Sorcerer. But yeah, you're right. Like, and it's funny because you talk about kicks. Like, I've always been a fan of the scissors kick, and then freaking R-Truth went and put his spin on it, his literal spin on it.
Yeah. Oh, Marcus, when he was doing that in TNA, he got so much zip on the hips. Oh, it was so cool. It didn't look as punishing as books because I remember I think it was Steiner or maybe Benoit. He hit one and he didn't even like really leave the ground, but he brought his leg up like a rocket and dropped it right onto the back. I think it was Steiner. He dropped it right on Steiner, and Steiner just like buckled and dropped. I'm like, ooh, that looked painful. But I'm sure it like felt like a feather. And I'm just like, book.
Yeah, and that's the perfect move for guys like, Martinez and Book and even Dijakovic because they're so lengthy. It's like bringing down a literal, like this big thick guillotine on you. And I think Book also used to have this move where he used to do like a guillotine leg drop off the top.
He used to. It was a rolling leg drop was what it was. It was called the Harlem Hangover.
Yeah, there it is.
And it probably took 10 years off his life.
Exactly. So that was always fun to try to do on a video game.
Right, revenge. So good.
Yeah, I used to I do it on Dead Reckoning too on the Cube. But yeah, I mean it's like you said, I mean something that I think Djokovic, again, it's a kaiju fight, but I think it's more suited between like somebody like him and Martinez because of the it's an odd similarity that kind of just works. But with Lee, at least I'll say, look, it ought to be like what Terry Crews called it, a black supremacist here. But the right black guy took the strap off Adam Cole finally because Dream just it even before and we said it on here, even before the chaos, he had severely cooled down for whatever reason. I don't know if it's because he never recovered from that back injury, but he lost a lot of the swag that he had. And looking back at it, I don't know how well that would have transitioned to the main roster should they have called him up. I think we talked about this before. A lot of those gimmicks work really well to the new cell crowd, and then they don't necessarily transition too well. So
new sale. Because all they care is about the new hotness. I think Keith Lee, here's the thing. The NXT roster ain't that deep anymore. I remember like 2 years ago they had signed, Ricochet and EC3 and like the Nexus or the Golden Horseman, whatever the fuck those four dorks are called. They were just starting out. They had a lot of, they had a lot of big potential. And there was a lot of guys there, before Lars Sullivan had a panic attack when he walked out in front of 5,000 people. They had a lot of guys there that had a lot of, high ceilings. That's not the case anymore. That doesn't now. And here's the thing that I should really put over. That's usually for the better right now in terms of long-term viability as a big star. When you have prospects and you have hype, what you end up getting is always a disappointment factor. That's one of the reasons why Ricochet will never be a star in WWE, because he can't do what the audience needs him to do. So there's always going to be a lack of excitement or maybe a little bit of a depreciating value for him because he's never going to be a promo guy. He's a body dude. Not in the sense that we know the WWE body dudes, but in the sense like he's a worker. He's going to go out and do 10, 12 minutes every Monday night, and that's what fans only see him as. Because he came in with so much hype, they expect him to be Shawn Michaels off the bat, but he can't do what Shawn did in terms of captivate a crowd outside of the ropes. And that's the problem. But when you get guys like Keith Lee and Dijakovic and I don't know, Punishment Martinez and whoever else NXT has, these aren't guys with the same value of hype. These aren't the guys that are coming in with huge fucking expectations. You're not putting Chris Hero and EC3 in NXT and then going, well, you know, they failed. Well, of course they did. They came in with too much hype. And hype will always lead to disappointment. Like, look at the NBA. How many guys ever came in with that kind of hype and succeeded? Maybe LeBron? And that's it. And I don't mean maybe like LeBron came in and I mean maybe LeBron was the only one. Like, look at Luka. Luka's arguably the 2 or 3rd best player in the NBA. But that dude was like, oh, don't draft Luka. He's not very athletic. He's super fucking athletic. Oh, don't draft Luka. He can't play in the NBA and he can't pass like he can. Oh, but he totally fucking can. There was a lot of criticism. Same with Trae Young. Everyone's like, well, Trae Young, you know, he's a big three-pointer, but he's not going to be able to translate to the NBA. He translated pretty fucking well. But when you have the hype, like a Jaleel Okafor, all of a sudden, now you have expectations. Ben Simmons, he's going to be a revolutionary player, Marcus. Ben Simmons can't hit a jump shot. Oh, boy. Joel Embiid, he can't stay healthy for more than 50 games a year. So when you have hype, you have the expectations of failure. If you don't hit a certain point, it doesn't matter how good you are, you will have failed. And that's the problem with NXT for the last 4 or 5 years. They had all these guys with all this hype, and all of a sudden they go to the main roster, and now we knew this was coming because Vince McMahon can't book a fucking book. Hey, well, what are those pages? It's going to be a book. Put it in a Trapper Keeper. Huh? Can't even book a book. Like, we knew it was going to happen. But when you have guys like Elias got over not just with the main crowd, but with all the crowds. But Elias wasn't hyped. Like, who the fuck was Elias? He was in NXT for like 2 weeks. He had like half a cup of coffee. But then all of a sudden he becomes a very popular attraction on the main roster. So I look at this class. They don't have the name brand. Like, even Keith Lee, when he came in, yeah, he had some pretty stellar matches. But he wasn't EC3 name brand. He wasn't like, getting Okada name brand, but he was good. And it wasn't that he was good in the sense that he was some type of like big indie flyer like Ricochet or Gargano. He was good in the sense that he knew how to work. So he was always destined to succeed if he was given an opportunity. I didn't like Dijakovic in Ring of Honor. I didn't even like Keith Lee in Ring of Honor. I don't like a lot of guys in Ring of Honor. I was in Ring of Honor, and I hated me. That's not true. I wasn't in Ring of Honor, but I do kind of hate me. But like whenever like a guy leaves somewhere and they don't really have a lot of like, look at Sam Shaw. All of a sudden, Dexter Lumis is someone that NXT fans are very excited about, and I'm so confused about that. Not because I have an issue with Sam Shaw, but he had no hype. Like, everyone's like, wait, why would you bring him in? So I think Keith Lee's potential to be a big star on the main roster is there. And only because he's not got the same hype around him, and the expectations of failure aren't there as well. So
yeah.
I don't know if he'll ever be a world champion. I don't know if he'll ever be the face of the company because I don't know if his promo work is up there. But in terms of getting a guy like, a Dolph Ziggler, someone that you can have on your brand for 15 years, put a bunch of belts on, and have him main event a bunch of times, yeah, that could be Keith Lee.
I mean, and they already kind of tested him out, and I think putting him in that Royal Rumble and having him go against somebody like Brock, and that's the beauty of Brock. When somebody like a Keith Lee goes up against him, and Brock can sell his ass off when he wants to. He can make guys like Lee look good. Now, like I said, he ran into him and Roman Reigns, and I think going back to the main roster and revisiting that stuff, like he's not so niche in NXT that he can transition, which a lot of people can't necessarily say on that brand. And I mean, look at names, and I got to get Chad back for his early Tai Chi comment that they never made in NXT. Chad's number one guy, Kona Reeves.
Ah!
What the freak happened to Kona Reeves?
He saw himself smile. Oh, God, that's what I look like when I smile. Ah!
And it's funny as it is to talk about Kona Reeves. It goes back to another point of, talking about how NXT is and will always kind of be being recognized as their brand as developmental. When's the last person that came out of there that they really made?
Yeah, that's
That's
fair.
roster out. Like the person that has momentum, and we'll see what they do with it if they allow them to go. Is like a Bianca Belair. Like that was made from that performance center to NXT to the main roster. Like it's not a lot of people. They like you said, they went to get brand names to up the brand, and because that audience didn't necessarily want to go seek prior knowledge in their minds, oh my God, this Adam Cole baby guy is brilliant. Like Triple H is brilliant, or you know Ricochet or freaking
Have you heard of this Rock
the
guy? He's pretty good.
I was just like, man, God, Triple H pulled this Finn Balor guy out of nowhere. Yeah, he did the same with that guy Samoa Joe, and yeah, some the Undisputed Era, man. Like, it's like how do you get it to bring all 4 or 5 of those guys together? It's like, okay, all right, whatever. We'll submit to your ignorance on the side. But again, like I said, I don't know if they're necessarily even in that mindset anymore of making those guys, because a lot of the people, I mean, who talk about the Kona Reeves, freaking Raul Mendoza's, I remember those. You remember those Eli twins that they had?
No.
Black ball.
Eli Twins.
They don't. I don't. Yeah, those.
Oh,
Yeah,
wait.
I
I
think
think I
you
kind of
know
do.
what.
They're like from like Cameroon or something like that.
Oh, they both wore black. Um,
Lana would be proud.
proud and throwing another scene on black, because this would be, I guess, technically a this would be a DP scene.
No, it would be a
Um,
three-way dance, Marcus. Come on. Or a triple threat. If you think about it, the 5 biggest names that NXT created, and to be clear, I don't necessarily mean like, oh, they plucked someone out of football or cheerleading or gymnastics and made them into a wrestler. I mean, had no name brand to their name and got into the WWE and became something, would be Roman Reigns, Charlotte Flair, Sasha Banks, Bayley, and Becky Lynch. Take the fucking cotton balls out of your mouth, Becky. I don't know what's in there. Marbles? I don't know. Take them out. 'Cause I can't fucking understand you. But like, those are the 5 biggest names that NXT probably created. Most of the names were already somewhere else. Like, yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking of. I think weren't they from like a different country? Are they called the Eli Twins? Is that really their name?
yeah, the Eli brother, Eli brothers or something like. Yeah, Eli brothers.
Ely Brothers. Okay. Twins WWE. Let's see what we got here. All right. No, it says the Bella Twins. That's not right. Jane Twins.
Of
No.
course.
Stop trying to correct me, Google. I don't need you to correct me. Nope. Oh, E-A-L-Y. Okay. Found it. E-A-L-Y. Identical Twins. NXT. Are they gone? I think they're gone at the company.
Yeah, they're gone.
They are from, the far-off magical country of Wisconsin. Well, all right then. Because I know, like, Akam and Tokar and Razor, they're from, like, American Samoa, I think. Or at least one of them is. And, like, there's a bunch of Indian and the Chinese wrestlers, I think, all got fired. But there's, like, a few Indian wrestlers. In fact, the one Indian wrestler was the one who leaked out that Keith Lee won. Ruh-roh. That ain't good. So, it'll be interesting to see what NXT looks like in a few years, because this is definitely an interesting situation that they are in as a brand, because they no longer have the new hotness. They actually have to build guys, and that'll be interesting to see what happens. Real quickly, just some quick notes. Marcus, Raw hits a new record low. Are you surprised?
No.
Fair enough. Neither am I. Kevin Owens tells Vince McMahon, start wearing masks and start finding people. Otherwise, I'm going home. And Vince is like, okay. And Kevin Owens like, wait, seriously? That worked? And he's like, yeah. That sounds like a solid, viable idea. And then Vince actually did it. And this isn't even a bit. That's literally what happens. Are you surprised that Vince listened to Kevin Owens?
In a way, but not really, because I mean, he acquiesces to people he respects, and I think Owens falls in that category.
Do you think maybe
And
that
I think
headbutt?
even in
Not to cut you up, but do you think that headbutt wasn't scripted? And now Vince is just afraid of Kevin Owens every time.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I can see. I mean, it's guys in that company were balling enough to step up to him. I always remember that story of Chris Jericho kind of having to pump Kofi up on the plane to go tackle Vince, because he was like, dude, you got to step up and get in his face, because if you don't, he's never going to see you as anything more than what you are. And, I guess they kind of exchanged a tackle or something or whatever, but kind of had to do that with that guy. Like, no matter how old he gets, he's still that imposing figure to so many people. And I guess it's easy for him to come off like that because of his disposition, but I was like, Owens doesn't care, which is one of, things that, I appreciate about him. And knowing Vince, he might actually, appreciate that headbutt, because he knows people walking around that company, grown-ass men and women on eggshells, which is still ridiculous at this point, specifically walking on eggshells during a damn pandemic when everybody needs to be speaking up. But again, that's the environment that they built, such a great environment that they've established for those employees. I mean, independent contract. No employees. Right.
They're not employees, but they're not independent contractors. They are superstars. And I don't mean that as a joke. Like, when you think about it, they're not technically employees because they do sign a contract and they aren't given benefits or any time off or anything to that like. But they're also not independent contractors because they can't legally end the deal. I'm a legitimate independent contractor. I work for about 70,000 websites doing articles. I don't have any obligation to show up to work tomorrow. The only thing they can do is like, all right, I guess you're not going to work tomorrow. And I'll be like, yo, I'm taking day off, yo, because I'm a legitimate independent contractor. Now, they can be like, well, you took a day off and we don't like that. I'll be like, all right, fine, but you never gave me a schedule, so, like, what do you want me to do? But that's a legitimate independent contractor. And when I file my taxes, when this COVID thing is over, and when I get my pay stubs for this upcoming tax, because last year this job wasn't on my taxes. This year, this upcoming next year, whatever it is, will be. That's gonna be interesting because I have to file that differently. But it's just one of those things, man. Like, you're dead on. Like, this company has some real fucking stupid people on it who are too afraid to do the right thing. Just fucking say, hey, dude, wear a mask. I'm wearing a mask right now. No, I'm not. That would be a little ridiculous. No, I'm wearing a mask. Just call me Bane. Do you feel in charge? Yes, take back the city. It is yours. Bane is the worst mayor ever. Speaking of the worst ever, Tammy Sitch is back in the news. She got arrested again.
It's
Womp
back.
womp. It's back. Womp womp. Marcus, are you at all surprised that Tammy Lynch has been arrested again? And now here's the counts. Eluding a police officer. She ran. Contempt / violate domestic violence restraining order. Contempt so technically, for anyone who doesn't know, a restraining order is technically a judicial command. And anytime you violate a judicial command, you are in contempt. That's why it's contempt / violate domestic violence restraining order. Tammy Sitch is the abuser in all of her relationships. Operating motor vehicle during a second, Marcus, operating a motor vehicle during the second license suspension. That is all kinds of stupid. As well as a contempt and violate domestic violence restraining order. I think they just printed that out twice. So she's got 4 counts. She's got to face a judge in Middletown Township in Pennsylvania. and has been on parole since being released from the Carbon County Correctional Facility in Carbon County, Pennsylvania, earlier this year. This is what I like to call the big ticket, because she's going away for at least 5 years. I would be flummoxed if she's getting anything less than 5 years.
Yeah, like I could just see it now. Dark Side of the Ring season 3. Tammy Lynn Cinch, literal jailbait.
Tammy Lynn Sitch, hot heat with the hot ladies of Carbon County Correction. Oh, wait, that's a Hustler title. Never mind.
Like, expect that to be coming if she doesn't go. She needs to recoup funds for her next bail opportunity.
What is she going to do? Sleep with more fans for money? Oh, jeez. You thought I forgot about that, didn't you? I did not. Ever. Dom of the Blurreds, or Powerbomb, I think he's with both, is tweeting out photos of what looks to be shrimp on top of pancakes, and now I'm confused. That's not
those
right.
are two of my favorite. Those are two of my favorite things, but it's almost in that realm of when I saw like a cheese-filled Oreo. Like, why would you do it? No, why? Why would you a cheesy Oreo? Stop.
That's not right. That's not right at all. Whoa. I'd rather have a toothpaste Oreo. Whoa. It's so gross. So fucking gross. Just stop doing weird foods. Don't put shrimp on pancakes. Don't put cheese in an Oreo, and stop putting pineapple on pizza. Stop. Like, yeah, we got some racial issues in the country. Yeah, we got a Cheeto for a president. Yeah, our national education system's not doing too hot. But the biggest fucking problem in my life right now is pineapple on pizza. And I don't mean to say that I don't represent or is involved in any of the other issues. I'm saying pineapple on pizza, more important than anything. We have to end that scourge. We end that scourge, the Holocaust never happens. Science has proven that to be a reality, Marcus. Let's make it happen. Let's end pineapple on pizza and save World War II.
It says a lot about our society when we have difficulties asking people simple things like put on masks and not mix foods that clearly are never meant to be together. And these are the debates that we have to have. These things are debatable.
You can mix races. You cannot mix foods. Like, that's my hard line. I will become a food supremacist. Don't tempt me. Sir, did I just see you put pepperoni and peanut butter together? We have a special place for you.